for today's cup of coffee.
Cup of coffee.
More Frankenfood.
Frankenfoot?
Maybe Frankenfood. It's Frankenfood, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And from Daily Mail by Wiliam Hunter, January the 30th of 2024.
We are not in the future.
Maybe
Not that far.
I am.
Not
I
that
don't
far
know.
into the future. The aliens haven't shown up.
Future.
We're still here. We're still here.
A little bit of quantum physics.
After thousands of years, we're still here.
Really. Anyhow, this is one of these that it's disturbing. It says that scientists have now revealed the first ever lab-grown eel that supposedly looks and tastes just like the real deal for the sushi lovers out there. I don't know that I have ever eaten eel.
I haven't. I certainly haven't. That it doesn't sound appealing. It really does not.
No. And this is
and the thought of 3D printed eel.
It's even worse than that. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's
3D printed eel.
It's an Israeli startup company that is called 4C SEA Foods. And it says that it could provide meat commercially as early as 2024 without harming fish stocks. And they're claiming again as far as overfishing and different things like that.
Well, that's why you have like fish farms.
That was what my thought was. We farm
my bad.
land.
They had to destroy a bunch of those, didn't they?
I don't know. I haven't kept up with that, with aquatic farming. But I know that should be a thing. I know that they were talking about as far as some of the pollution, but who knows? Who can trust any of these people that are saying anything?
Oh, no.
But you've got places that even if they couldn't farm them in the actual ocean due to some kind of pollutant, why couldn't they put it there on the coastline and have this?
Not only that, I know this sounds bad, but plants, it's like these type of plants, like industrial plants.
Mm-hmm.
Fish farm in those. Some of those.
Yeah. Yes, because
it's going to be
recreation of an actual ecosystem.
Yeah.
This is how this works. What is one's waste product becomes the food of another one. Then that thing becomes food for something else. They used to understand this.
Food for thought.
I think there's food and then there's
food and no
thought. It's exactly right. And this basically ends up, I thought this was gross, and maybe it was just me. It said that most lab-grown meat is created by producing protein and fat cells separately and then combining them on a scaffold.
Don't you find that disturbing?
I do.
It sounds disturbing.
The scaffold gives the cells a structure and helps them form into a shape and similar texture to natural meat. However, this process is slow and requires the creation of an additional scaffold for the cells. It says that 4C, meanwhile, claims to have created a method that does not need a scaffold to recreate the texture of meat. Instead, the company uses some kind of stem cell to create organoids. That's the term they're using.
Organoid? Is that arachnoid?
Is essentially tiny, miniaturized versions of 3D tissues. It says these organoids are then left to self-organize into tissues containing both fat and protein.
Okay.
And it's just... highly disturbing to me. And it's like there's no long-term studies on what happens when people consume these things. You know, there's a lot of stuff that people are consuming that we have found out over the years causes bad things to happen because it's not fucking natural.
Well, the thing is, when they give us technology like this, whoever the they is,
Yeah.
it's always the baby end version of it, which is very flawed.
And is usually designed for us to harm ourselves with.
Yeah.
It's what the fallen angels did.
Yeah. Yep. And
Yeah.
so that's basically what's happening.
I think so.
And we're kind of getting poisoned
Yeah.
with this 3D printed food.
Right.
We got the, and listen, I'll eat the 3D printed noodles. But
Yeah, they just pass through.
yeah.
Hopefully
yeah,
harmlessly.
They literally, they don't absorb, nothing gets absorbed with those. It's fine. It's fine. It goes in one way, goes out the same.
Oh.
It's true.
I understand. I understand. And you know, it's one of these that, and there was somebody that from Knoxville that had commented on this, and Knoxville is about 3 hours from us. That's Knoxville, Tennessee. And this individual had a really good understanding of this, and it's highly disturbing. Now, I have not fact checked this, but it sounded correct. And the individual had said, look up what uncontrolled cell division describes. I think most of us understand what uncontrolled cell division describes.
Yeah.
And this individual said that's how they're growing lab meat. That's highly disturbing. Yeah.
I mean, you kind of lost me. No joke at the cell divide. What?
Uncontrollable cell division is called cancer.
Ooh. See, I didn't know that.
With the way you were acting, I thought you did.
No. Don't always trust it. Yeah.
It was a really good fake out on that one. But it's like, you know, I will say that of the, at the time that I'm reading this article and stuff, most of the people are just like, no. And there's a reason that, yeah.
People are honestly waking up to the fact that they're putting stuff in our food that is dangerous and toxic to us.
Oh, yeah.
Highly. Stuff that is banned in other countries that they're allowing into our food.
Right.
We're all tired of it. Like, it's not cool.
No, it's really not. And as far as, you know, when you've got certain tiny groups that want to sit there and whine and cry and bitch and moan and hold their breath till they turn blue because somebody ain't doing life the way they think they do, well, hell, let them turn blue till they pass out. Don't force everybody else into your way of thinking. That is not how you convince somebody.
The thing is, the way that our country is designed, they have put us in a situation where we have no other option but to go to the store, go to a Walmart or whatever.
Yeah.
Food City.
But I mean, as far as some of the ones that's sitting there about animal rights and this and that and the other, and it's like, these are the same ones that they'll put animal rights above human rights because they hate humans. Okay, if you hate humans and you don't, and I'm not for the torture of anything, animal, human, nothing is supposed to suffer like that, you know. But as far as these people showing their asses, that is not the way to convince other people to your way of thinking. You present evidence. You know, I have tried many types of dietary things in my life. I've done the vegan thing. I've done the vegetarian thing. You name it, I've done it. Even as far as, what is it, macrobiotics, all this stuff. And that is just fucking cumbersome. I know why macrobiotics works. By the time that you get something prepared to eat, you're so exhausted you don't want to eat.
Yeah.
But to
It's
sit there,
cumbersome as fuck.
and as far as we were given things to have as food, not everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not everything, and the reason that you have certain animals that have certain jobs, even as far as the shellfish, which can be remarkably tasty, but they're filters. That's why you're not supposed to eat them. And it's just like some of the other different types of animals that if you'll notice, the ones that Scripture is what I'm referring to, that you are supposed to consume, and that these animals are supposed to be harvested without them suffering.
Yes.
And one of the reasons for that is because you've got a lot of neurotransmitters and everything. If the animal suffers, that goes into the meat.
It does.
Which is another reason that people are sick.
Because it fucks with the meat.
Uh-huh.
And what they're doing to the animals in some of these industrialized ways.
Yeah.
It's fucking with them. And I know I was like, a plant with the fish. The fish is different.
Yeah, well, and that's where you get the pescatarians and stuff like that they won't eat anything else except for the fish. And it's like, if you give thanks for whatever, if it's a plant, if it's a fish, if it's a potato chip, which is made from a plant, give thanks. But people are just, it's interesting to watch people fall off the edge.
People are falling off left and right. They really are.
But they have talked about, I have seen before in this article, of course, it was making it sound all wondrous and stuff like that. But the cost to produce these lab-grown monstrosities is ridiculous. It wouldn't, how much would it cost, honestly, to build one of these huge, farms, aquatic farm, if it doesn't have to be in the ocean, and then you got those, it's not wild caught, and it's not that. It's like, do better at it then. Do better at what you're feeding them. There's small things that could be changed to give a better product. It doesn't, science is off the chain right now. I mean, it really, when you don't have ethics combined with this stuff.
I mean, this goes into even them, what they put in baby food.
Oh,
Lead
God.
has been found in baby food.
Sure.
The Gerber's baby food.
And why is that? Because what the actual female body is used for, they're too busy sexualizing that. And that you've got people that thinks it's abnormal to breastfeed a child. That's why they're there. We're mammals. We do that. You don't get colostrum from a can. And it was just like, I had read an article today about somebody that their sister was breastfeeding the child and different things like that. That's thousands of years old. They were called wet nurses. It was not uncommon for other women to breastfeed children that weren't theirs. That was back when women had, as far as a community, and some of them had some sense. You've always got harpies. You've always had them. That and the temple whores. And my God, they have been just put on a pedestal, haven't they?
Yep.
But people were giving this person grief because they thought it was abnormal. Because what used to be commonplace is now so rare, and that includes common sense.
Well, I think that goes into the social starvation.
Yes.
I mean, that's not just touch starvation, it's social
It
starvation.
is.
And when you are socially starved, you don't know how to act after a while. When you are in public, you forget those
Mm-hmm.
social cues. You forget, you get stuck in your head.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. And we were discussing that earlier about how, as you know, the different forms of communication have been very fragmented with internet, and that text can be taken out of context and misconstrued so easily.
Mm-hmm.
Now with voice, and that was what I was explaining to Kid, you at least with voice you can hear sarcasm. There is no sarcasm font as yet. I'm waiting for somebody to invent that, but that still is not the same as seeing the facial expressions and different things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you're absolutely correct, Kid, in the fact that people are forgetting how to communicate with each other. That's a problem.
I mean, it's not necessarily my opinion, but it's more so just a fact.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not just like legit. People are talking about this left and right.
Good. Because if people are talking about it, if it's brought into public awareness, then hopefully people will begin to develop, solutions. That has been my thing for past few years. Everybody's bitching and whining and complaining. Yes, bring things to light, bring it to public awareness, but you've also got to have some solutions.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like the gentleman who is the psychiatrist, and I'll have to try to find his channel so that I can share that with everybody, who had talked about what was it, touch starvation?
Yeah.
And he has some really good suggestions. His channel is a lot about ADHD because he has it, and he can explain about those who are not neurotypical. I don't know what the hell's happened to us. Some of us just, Oh, it's Healthy Gamer GG.
Healthy
You should have
Gamer
known that.
GG.
But that somebody had gone on TikTok and had posted this, and it was a cry for help. And this woman, and it was just heart-wrenching.
It was. God,
That
love
she,
her.
and people that in the comments of it, they were great because they said, stop over-sexualizing everything. And this is what has happened because you've had a few that have misused the laws of the land. You've had courts that have allowed that misuse.
Mm-hmm.
And so now you've got people afraid to touch each other.
You do?
Because somebody's always, doing some kind of ambulance chasing bullshit. Because it can be very, very lucrative. And it's like, that's blood money. That's at the price of somebody's soul. But when you see somebody hurting and that you want to comfort them, to hold their hand or allow them to cry on your shoulder or something like that, we need to return to those simple things.
We do.
Yeah.
We really do.
Basic human touch. Foods that are natural, that does not have all this bullshit added to it. And then people wonder why people are sick and that they have different health issues and stuff. And they want to blame the individuals. You have to take the situation as a whole. And that is one of the things that has bothered me about some of these that call themselves conservative commenters and stuff like that, and influencers and stuff, for a long time, as far as they absolutely hate fat people, especially fat women, and they go out of their way each and every time that they make some kind of video or whatever to just, as far as their disdain. Do they not understand that they are poisoning the minds of others who look at them? Find out why that person has a weight issue. There's usually a psychological something somewhere. That, or a lot of times there's a medical something. A lot of people have polycystic ovary disease. And some of these people that are going on with this shit, I honestly would like to sit there and go, come here. Sit your ass down. Let me talk to you. I don't want to, you talk all the time. Open your ears and listen.
That needs to be done with the ones that, like, legit, they don't care. They'll argue with you all day, all night, even though they're wrong.
Yeah. And that is something else that's another poison that is going around. You've got so many people, their spirits are poisoned. It's not just their bodies, their spirits have been poisoned. And at a certain point, you have to realize if you're listening to something, because that's another type of consumption, you're taking that into your spirit. Mm-hmm. If you feel drained, if you feel all this stuff, sit there, take a break. Go sit and watch you some SpongeBob for a few minutes. Go through the house singing this little light of mine. I'm going to let it shine. I'm not joking. Because you have to limit the amount of your consumption on this stuff.
You do.
This is why we try to be silly and we try to lift people up. And it's like to try to edify people. You know? Because we are community.
Yep.
Now, I'm one of these that through the internet, I'll pop in and I'll comment something every so often. And usually it is to uplift somebody. To make a friend. Because I know we've got so many lonely people out there. And I may not be able to sit there and at this point, physically share a cup of coffee with them. There's a brain fart.
Yeah. Cup of coffee, to be able to do that with somebody else,
to sit there, even if it is a virtual hug, until I could be to a point to where I could give them a physical hug. Yeah. And I'm one of these that when I talk to people, I sit and look at them, and sometimes it makes people uncomfortable. It's not one of these weird glaring things. It's not that Heaven's Gate glare.
God.
But to see the person, and there are so many people that unfortunately makes them uncomfortable because they don't want to be seen.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, God help us. As a world, each and every one help us. And it's like, don't be eating no Frankenfood. I am not going to make something. I would not, if I know that there's some kind of lab, and you got to read labels these days. Oh, you got to read labels.
You do. And a lot of shit has that bioengineered or whatever.
We have no idea what the hell we're eating.
Poison.
Even if you grow your own food, they have already altered the seeds and stuff to where, who knows. So you pray over it and you go on.
But at a certain point, that has to be grown out of it.
I don't know. I don't know how that works. That's for the big brains. All I know is that this shit's scary.
There has to be a way to get like untampered seeds.
I don't know. I think that they're in some kind of seed bank in the far recesses of the world.
Independent farmers.
Well, even on some of that stuff.
Selling online, maybe.
Even on that, if you watch the movie Food Inc., and that came out years ago, and that you had this gentleman who was raising soybeans, and that because wind blows, and that there were Monsanto soybean farms near his, and the pollen was carried on the wind. They found some of their genetically altered plants amongst his. They sued his ass and took everything he had, ruined him.
Wow.
Yeah. They were telling farmers, as far as, it's, again, thousands of years old, that you would keep seed. So you would have it for the next year. Some of these people, they were preventing them from keeping seed.
Yeah.
Now that's a group of people when they want to control that type of shit. No change.
Yes.
And that is one thing about Aquarius. As far as revolution, and we can feel it in the air. It's coming.
That's the thing. I
It's
think a lot of
coming.
people didn't know that they were doing that.
Well, yeah. That's
Mass
where
change is coming. It's in the air.
these little tiny voices like ours. The little Horton hears who. We're here. We're here. The little microscopic people that keep speaking out that nobody's bought us, nobody's paying for us. Yeah. And at some point, it's planting seeds, positive seeds. Seeds of enlightenment, seeds hopefully of knowledge and even questioning. Question everything. Yeah. So,
Everything.
final thoughts, kid.
Oh!
Future.
Future!
The SpongeBob reference.
Future! If reincarnation, past life shit is real, do we just hit it at the tail end every time?
I have over, and we could do a cup totally on reincarnation. Why? What would be the point if you can't remember what you learned the past time and to keep repeating the mistakes? That's counterproductive. Why? What
know.
would be the purpose of that? That would just be torturous. But
I
as
don't
far
know if
as
it's necessarily repeating mistakes, other than like you're living a completely different life, making different choices.
well, as far as with karma, to either move up or move down, or you get downgraded.
See, I'm
or
not
you
even
come
taking
as
that
a
into
bug.
consideration.
If you can't remember what you learned, what good is it? And so I'm like that. That's totally illogical. And I don't, God is one of order and logic and reason.
He is.
So, he's not going to do stupid shit. That's the devil. He does stupid shit and convinces humans to do stupid shit. And it doesn't take a lot to convince them.
No.
Yeah. So, all I know is that we are here for this time. And I'm praying to God that at whatever point we'll have that inner knowing of what to do, when to do it. I've experienced things like that I had no clue what to do, how to do it, whatever, and somehow did. And in the aftermath, to go sit and go, how did I do that? And to really not even know. But I did to the best of my ability what needed to be done at the time.
Yeah.
So that's some crazy shit.
Yeah.
We're not here by accident. Nobody is here by accident.
No, I didn't. I wasn't saying we're here by
No,
accident.
I'm just saying. There's some people that believe that they're accidents, and it's like, God love them. Again, those are the people that need a hug.
They do. We ain't here by accident.
No.
We have a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know what that purpose is, but
That's
okay.
where you keep crying out and asking. It's like, what I need to know this purpose. What is it? Some of it's just to be silly.
Yeah.
To encourage somebody,
To be the light of someone else's day.
Absolutely. To give someone the gift of a smile or a laugh or something like that. That's pretty huge purpose in today's world.
Mm-hmm.
So is that your final thoughts?
Yeah.
If you've had experiences with paranormal or supernatural encounters with UFOs, aliens, cryptids, these damned Frankenfoods.
Frankenfoot.
Some of these people need to just be, sometimes a good bitch slap is the correct answer. You can send us an email. Don't be going out and smacking somebody. They'll be assaulting nobody. You'll end up in slammer.
You don't need an assault charge.
Yeah, don't get an assault charge. They still, some states that they require bail. Anyhow, you can send us a cup of coffee with scream, gmail.com. Y'all,
Not many left.
Tennessee's one of those, damn, you had to pay bail in Tennessee, I can tell you that. And in Virginia. Yeah. It's yours.
If you like this video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, click that notification button, even though it doesn't work half the time. Yeah.
Yeah, we have had people that they have said that they have liked the video and that their like had disappeared. We've had people that have complained that their comments had disappeared. This is all on YouTube. BitChute, for whatever reason, they'll randomly upload to something I've already uploaded. Hell, watch it again.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Subscribe.
Yeah. So share some of the knowledge. That's
Share
the main
the wealth.
thing. Share the love.
Share the love.
And the coffee. If you've got somebody.
Isn't that the wealth?
That is the wealth. You're absolutely right. Damn, you're brilliant. You really are. Truly.
I thought that ain't brilliance. That's just...
No, it is. It truly is out of the mouths of babies, even if they almost 25. Know that you are very loved. And Lord willing, we'll see you on the next cup.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Bye.